Be like red.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to another POD show, Put Out the Rec. And we got an interesting topic to talk about today. I'd like to say what's up to my panel. We got Gabby. Want to say something to the people, Gabby?
Hey.
We got my man Pot. He's a regular. He's a regular. But yeah, we got an interesting topic to talk about tonight. A little controversial, but you know, we're really not afraid to tackle the controversial topic. Some people are, but we're not. And there was some comments made by R&B singer we all know is Tank. And I know in the barbershops and salons, it's a hot topic of debate on, you know, if a man engages in sexual activity with another man, he's basically just trying it out. That don't mean that he's gay. And the debate rages on because, you know, me being an alpha and a man myself who is cut from the original cloth, I have a problem with that. But, you know, people can do what they want to do. I respect people's decisions to live the life that they want to live. But we're going to discuss the pros and cons and get some views on that statement. And we'll have an interesting conversation, and hopefully we'll walk away with some insight that we can share with people and help them if they're perplexed about the statements that the brother made. Anybody in the chat who wants to ask a question or leave a comment, feel free, and we gonna get into it. All right. On that note, let's begin. Well, all righty, right. We are back. So, brother made some controversial comments. We fresh off this topic in the barbershop. It came up, and we actually had an individual who's a male who didn't see anything wrong with it. So it kind of brought up a big debate, and I said, you know, we need to discuss this thing. So we're gonna air it out. We're gonna get into some things. We're gonna get into some agendas. And let's go. So Gabby, because I know you are a big proponent of us men being very transparent with our lifestyles and the things that we want to do, and you were very passionate about knowing things up front, which gives you the ability to make a sound decision if you want to even fool with that person or not. So let me get your take on that, and then you know that'll be a nice segue, and then we'll build on that.
Well, I feel like before you start dating someone and you having a conversation, I feel like if they're bisexual or they had like situations with the experience with another male, you should tell me that. So, because there's a lot of women out here that deal with bisexual men. I'm not one of those. So I feel like I should know that off rip, not like 7 years down the line. You was like, well, I had a situation in college or something. I'm gonna be furious. I'm gonna be mad. I feel like you should give me that, you know, they just respect. Just let me know up front, and then I decide if I want to still mess with you or I want to say no. So I just feel like it's a respect level.
I could dig that. But I also think that our culture has, well, not has, but is moving in a direction where we have these I'm gonna call them alternative lifestyles, because a lot of these lifestyles from my scholarship are not along the lines of the original format. You know, me and the brother was discussing this offline, just about the agenda on how if we change the verbiage, somehow it's okay because we've changed the wording. And that doesn't really change anything because the act itself is
Labels.
still the same. Um,
Right, because people don't like labels.
they don't like labels. And, going back to the Tank situation, the brother made the comment that if you got oral sex from a man more than once, that does not make you gay per se. You're just trying it out to see if you like it. Now, I disagree with that. I don't disagree with a person's free will to engage in that act. If that's what you want to do,
Right.
cool, fine. But just as somebody who is operating along the lines of the natural flow of
Right.
things, I'm not curious to want to know what that's like because it's not in my psyche to be curious about that. But, it's a lot of different layers to why we are being broken up into these different directions when it comes to how we relate, sexually. And one part is agenda, one part is natural, and one part is trauma. And we're going to discuss that a little bit tonight. So, Pop, what you think about that? Comments that the brother made, far as if you do it once or twice, you're just trying it out to see if you like it. That don't make you gay.
Well, it's a gay action. That's one thing for sure. It's definitely a gay action because I know
Right. Right.
he's taking it. Well, how can I say it? He's a rapper, right? Because I really don't know this guy. He's a rapper.
Nah, he's an R&B singer.
R&B singer, right? And he mentioned this in his music or something like that.
Nah, he had an interview and on a radio show, and this is what he said. He caught a lot of flack for it. 50 is how 50 be going in on cats, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, all right. It's definitely a gay action. I could say that. It seemed like today is like people have so much free will. They're willing to try anything just to see where they at. You know what I mean? Like he said, like just to see if you're gay or not. Now it's like if you say something about somebody, like, okay, me as a man, if I say a man had a nice body, I would just give him a compliment. But today is like if you said that, you'd be like, am I gay or not? You know what I mean? It's like they want you to think like that. Like maybe I should figure out, why would I say that? You know what I mean? Like why would I say something nice about another guy? Maybe I should explore that. Maybe I'm gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's society today. It's like they want to participate in things that they.
I feel like if you haven't had that thought.
Right.
All right.
But it's not really a gay thought at all. But how society is programming the younger generation, I'm gonna say that they're programming them to second question the things they say, and they want to explore. Why would what I mean? It's like they're taking it to another action, but it's definitely a gay action.
So basically, you saying that society is taking, a free thinking individual with something that's not really geared towards anything that might be homosexual, but they want to say if these the types of thoughts that you're having, they're seeding the minds of this generation as well as the individual to question,
right.
Am I gay because I said that? Right. And now you are perplexed and confused and wondering in the back of your head, not me per se, but I'm just saying I get what you're saying, that they're making it convenient for people to go in that area if they have those types of thoughts.
Right. So they kind of like setting traps for you, put it that way, setting traps for you mentally. So you might see something you like and then you well, let me try it out, But at the same time, man, it's a gay action, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to be gay, but it's a gay action. He is true about that, like, you don't have to be gay. Yeah. But it's definitely a gay action. You know, I mean, it's so, you know, we could go real far with this, but it's a
Yeah, I
gay
think
action. So,
I was just thinking today, prior to the actual broadcast, I was
I,
thinking about the different fronts on how we as a society arrived at this, and I've come to the conclusion, just reflecting, that this phenomenon, you have people who engage in this type of lifestyle through trauma. You have people engaging in this lifestyle based on the fact that we have a lot of proponents of different things that are put in our food that jumbles up our hormones. Soy being one, when you're talking about a lot of estrogen being pumped in products. So you got to be careful with that. And then you have the fact that a person can be born this way based on the fact that when you look at biology and the way it works, and which way the sex is going to be, male or female, um, that's a biological thing that can get jumbled up sometimes, and a person can come into this world perplexed with those actual things going on. So we have so many different layers to the phenomenon,
right.
but people want to take the phenomenon and make it just one thing and say, hey, I like this. This is what I'm going to do, and it's normal. And one thing you can't do is override my logic that the Creator gave me to think that something that is not along the lines of the natural flow of things is normal. I didn't say it was wrong, because I'm not here to judge, because you can choose to do what you want. But don't try to convince my mind that it's normal. Now we have this thing where heterosexual people are being kind of targeted because they're not that way. And if they're outspoken about it, it's a problem.
right.
That's the new game right now. To be straight and to be proud you straight,
Right.
something's wrong with you.
But we seen this coming anyway. We already seen this coming. I seen this coming back in 2006. I seen this happening anyway. You know what I mean?
What do you think
I was
of
like,
the interview?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
What you gonna say? Go ahead.
I think she's freezing.
She's freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm listening. Oh, I was saying by this interview. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Go
you're a little
ahead.
choppy.
By Tank having the interview, do you think like all the Dollar brothers like feel comfortable now? Like they give it a different title. Can
I
you hear
think
me?
as we get, yeah, you're a bit choppy. I heard what you said. Um, I think what she's saying is, by him making a statement, does it make people more comfortable to be coming out with that, like, well, the Down Low brothers, to be more comfortable with coming out now when you have people in high places like R&B singers and rappers and actors coming out making statements like that. They make it comfortable for the ones who are in hiding to go out and say, you know what, I'm like that too. I don't think per se, but I can't say, because the music industry is a funny business when it comes to agendas, because they can pay a person a lot of money to be the face of something.
True.
That's just keeping it a bean. Like, yo, if the money's right, you might not even be a part of that lifestyle, but you're willing to promote it so
Right.
you can have financial gain. And some of us are like that. And that's something that we got to be. Go ahead.
And that's why I don't respect those people anymore. You know what I mean? I don't have no respect for the music industry. I don't have respect for all these big names. They ain't who they are. You know what I mean? Like they playing the game right now. You know what I mean? And people actually look up to them, and they got the nerve to influence people with this bullshit. You know what I mean? So I lose my respect for every person on that stage when they try to influence people to do shit that they know they not even doing. You know what I mean? So
That's deception on a very high level. And I think ultimately those people was going to have to be dealt with for their actions. What's the gain the world and lose your soul? And that's a lot of entertainers, or that's the MO right now. I think on one level, Gabby, could you hear us? Gabby, could you hear us?
I can hear you now. It's kind of static a little bit.
All right.
You can't. Yes, can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Your question. I think your question was, do you think he did that to make it okay for Download Brothers to say it's okay to come out or whatever, whatever? Was that your question, or you want to ask the question again?
Yes, that was my question.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find you another location. That thing is like
I can hear
robotic,
you.
baby. Yeah, you breaking up. You is there another spot you can try to find?
Oh,
Yeah, we'll get back to her, but yeah, that's the worst, man. You know, but yeah, man, I think it's just one of them things where we really, really have to dig into. You know, I'm a firm believer in free will. I think people should be able to do what the hell they want to do.
Right.
I
And
think I think the ultimate judge in that will be the universe, God, the creator, whatever you want to call it. There's a repercussion for getting off the path of nature. That's just like not eating fruits and vegetables and you're eating a bunch of junk. You have free will to do that. As a result, you're going to develop, all types of chronic diseases from that.
right.
So I think there is a repercussion with the type of lifestyles that we're choosing that's not along the lines of natural programming.
Right.
And that's for those who are saying, hey, why not? It's like getting high with your buddy and your buddy pull out some new weed and it's like, hey, let me try that too. Why not?
Right. Right.
So I think we need to be careful. There's repercussions because you can get high and never come back from that.
Right.
But so I wholeheartedly agree with people living their lifestyles and doing what they do. I have a lot of. Go ahead.
People are exploring right now. We're going through this era where everything is normal now. Like you said, people are showing they true colors now. People are all coming out the shell and being who they really are. I'm even being who I really am today. You know what I mean? But it ain't no gay stuff or anything like that. But you know what I mean? It's like, but everybody just coming out. It's really just based on emotion, man. It's all this emotion going on. People are in this whirlpool of emotion, and they program that way. You know what I mean? It's like you can't really, like you said, you can't change a person for what they want to do. And see, this is one thing we got to understand about natural order too. See, natural order, it has a system, but it also can hybrid to another system, and that can become a natural order too. You know what I mean? Like it's universal. So eventually, it can flip over to something completely different. You know what I mean? So we really just altering and changing the natural order. As people in general, we're changing the way we think about sex, the way we think about interacting with each other. I even said this back in the day. I was like, watch, it's gonna be a time where people are gonna be in school. Like how we had girlfriends, we just messed with girls and stuff. It's gonna be a time where it's gonna be a person or it's gonna be people in school that mess with him, her, that mess with everybody. You know what I mean? And it's completely okay. Like I've been with him, I've been with her, I've been with what I mean? Like it's that's the kind of world that we're altering into. So it eventually will be a norm. It will eventually get there.
actually.
You said you
That's
feel
when we go. I mean, once we go, then it will become the norm because our state of minds are different. Because we, like you said, we in a different order right now. We found the path, and that's how we do our thing. But the people who run this whole system, they know how to alter it into something else. They know nature really has no destination. You know what I mean? Because that's why it's called the universe. It's eternal, so it can always flip and do whatever it want to do. But it does take a process. The process is ugly, but will become a whole different thing in 30 years from now. You know what I mean?
well, that's definitely gonna happen. I think us living in harmony with the change and that's universal law. Everything changes, nothing stays the same. I think once you get the powers that be out of the equation, I think things can live in a more harmonious state, regardless of who or what it is, when you don't infringe a superiority complex on someone else. Okay, if you're gay, cool. But don't have an agenda where you feel like you are now the new, so to speak, human being, and y'all are the best thing since sliced bread, and y'all got the money, y'all got the neighborhood, y'all got everything y'all want, and anybody who's not on that train, you're looking down on them like something's wrong with you if you ain't down with this. That's the problem.
But society makes it like that.
That's just like racism in the world. I mean, that's just another form of like that's just another form of destruction. I mean, that's what they do. They feed us destruction. You know what I mean? Like, as long as we destructive.
I think Go ahead, Gabby.
No, I'm saying it's society making like that. Everyday life is like that. I feel like social media is like that. Like it's not, if you're like the in crowd at school. Like if you're not in the in crowd, you're a nerd, or you're getting bullied. So I feel like that's how society makes it.
And society is ultimately socially engineered and kind of steered by the powers that be. Once the powers that be get out of the equation, I can see as the world changes morphing to something that where there's a balance of respect from all angles. Like if you have a community, tribe, nation, whatever, that's what it is. I respect your nation, I respect your tribe, your laws, everything. Meanwhile, I'm a part of a tribe or a nation, right? We can do business, we can interact, we can do all of that. But I respect, y'all way of life. We don't have a respect now. We got this control system saying, hey, everybody should be on this level. Exactly. And that's the problem. That's the problem. It's not that, like I said, you got people out here who are going through some very traumatic experiences and saying, hey, I don't want to be with this sex anymore. You got a lot of sisters who say, hey, I've been in abusive relationships. Dudes did me wrong. I'm going to be a chick. Okay. I get the psychological trauma that pushed her in that direction. That's one level. Then you got the level of we're eating foods and partaking of a lot of things, and it's altering our biology and pushing us in that direction. That's another level. Then you got the machine who's pushing it in cartoons, movies, TV shows, everything, and putting it in front of your face consistently, programming you to accept it as it's normal. That's another level. Then you got the fact that people can be born with some anomalies where they come here like that.
Right.
You got all of this stuff going on.
That's information.
And when a person gives you one scenario on why this phenomena is what it is, let me throw in there the universe. Change. Yeah. The universe is allowing everything to change. And this is funny because when you watch, I don't know if you watch Sweet Tooth, right? Well, y'all all watch Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, man. What's up? I want to hear this.
If you look at Sweet Tooth, the show on Netflix, the girl always thought that the hybrid children were sent to reform the earth because man in their ways had messed it up.
Right.
So as the children were born, they came here very innocent and loving and just respected everything. They didn't have an agenda. They were birds, lizards, deer. There was everything, right? You can take those same kids and say, hey, autistic kids come here. They don't have an agenda to do anything bad. They just like being who they are. So when you look at the show is really telling you, look, the universe is going to create change. It's going to send us in another direction. It may not be what you think it's going to be, but it's going to be something different, and it's going to be something more conducive for this planet where there's not consistent friction.
Conflict. Yeah.
conflict, and
Yeah.
things can be more balanced and peaceful. We don't know what that change is going to be, but it's going to change. And I'm cool with accepting that change, but I don't want a machine behind the change telling me what I need to like, what I need to not like, and all this other stuff. And if I don't like it, or if I do like it, something's wrong with me.
But you
I'm
gotta say,
questioning.
but that keeps you in the direction that serves a purpose for them. You understand? You know what I mean? Like they're keeping you in the bubble. You're
Yeah,
evolving in their bubble. They don't want you to evolve in your bubble, or you know, they don't want you to exceed the bubble. Put it that way. They always want to redirect you, even though things are evolving. It's evolving in their favor. That's the whole plan.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
It's a control paradigm. What you
Yeah,
got to
so
say,
they
Gabby?
but I just feel like all of it is just it's true. Like I feel like I have gay friends. I got I'm straight, but I feel like they can do that thing. I can do my thing. As long as nobody, forcing nothing on me, or I'm not forcing nothing on them. I feel like, but society is not made like that. It's like you can't say anything opposite from what they're saying. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be backlash. It's gonna be people coming for you. Like
Yeah.
that's just how it goes. That's how it goes.
Here's another thing too. I want to mention. You got to think about this. All this stuff started happening. What 10 years ago? I mean, when did it start getting like real, like popular?
First
Like,
coming out.
yeah, yeah. Like, I'm just saying, period. Like this phenomenon of sex, same sex messing with each other. Sometimes you got to think about. Go ahead, because
Oh no,
I
I'm
had
just
something.
saying. I feel like it's been happening, but I feel like it was just pushed under the rug. Nowadays, it's like it's out and it's in your face and it's forced. Like you got to see it. Like every show you watch, it's a gay couple. Every
Right.
like you got any like music concert, they wearing men are wearing dresses now. Men are wearing polish. Like wearing purses, like that's something I didn't grow up with. It was under the rug. Like you didn't know your uncle was gay, you didn't know your cousin was gay. It was like on the down low. Now it's out in the open, which is fine, but I feel like I don't agree with it being forced. It shouldn't be forced on our kids. It shouldn't be forced on us. Like it is what it is. Just live your life. We can live our life. Everybody can be kumbaya.
Yeah, yeah. I
You think
remember
about. Go ahead, Dre. Go ahead.
even
Go ahead.
when we were younger, we knew people. It was very few, but we knew people who were gay, but it wasn't something they paraded around with. It wasn't something that they put on Front Street. And back in the '80s, man, that the gay phenomenon was a big deal. In New York and in the whole disco scene and all of that, they had a very big gay scene, but it wasn't something that had an agenda. It was just an expression, and people wanted to express themselves, and it was respected. That was it. There was nothing else to it.
Right.
I think as our children grow up, we as parents gonna have to really reinforce consistently, because I'm gonna tell you how the subconscious minds work. If your child is consistently singing same-sex unions on television, music, whatever, whether they know what that is or not, their subconscious mind is recording everything.
Right.
At some point, they're going to normalize it, whether you tell them it's normal or not. They're going to normalize it. What you got to do as a parent is consistently talk to your kids to let them know what is the natural order of things. Now, if they choose to go in any other direction, that's their free will choice. But as long as you laid out the framework on how things should go, and you notice we're staying away from religion because this has nothing to do with religion. But what I'm saying is, as long as you're consistent as a parent to lay down the framework, consistently laying down the framework and programming your kids, because parents program kids. When you got kids and you saying shit over and over and over again, you're programming them. So we need to program our kids about natural order, because the world is going to give them another view. At least they have a better balance of choice. That's all I'm saying. Give them a better
But
choice.
but here's the problem. This is where it all. This is where the problem falls at, though. Children do not really listen to their parents at a certain, to a certain point. The best way for parents to teach their children is by leading them, by their children seeing how they live their lives. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Rebel as kids.
children need to see a visual of something that they've been born into. Like, you know what I mean? They already see the order. It's a natural thing. They see how moms and dad, whatever, interact. See, now this is where it comes to play, where there's only one person raising a child, a woman raising a child. So most of these kids don't really get a chance to see a man and woman together. You know what I mean?
And
So that also, yeah. So it could be a process. We're actually seeing the process of that, of women raising men and raising because there's more females raising men than men raising men. So if you think about it, that could be a little bit of why it's like that now, because men are being raised by females.
All right.
So
yeah, that definitely plays into it, because universe is based on balance. You have to have a balance. There's no way around it.
That could be.
Even if you were raised by a strong black woman as a man, and you came into this world and she did a great job, and you became a productive citizen, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're definitely gonna have some psychological disparity when it comes to how you relate to the other sex, because you just have to have that energy. And if you don't have it, it's gonna lack. And when you grow up, you're gonna see it manifest. Like, I didn't really understand that concept until I grew up and I engaged in my own relationships, and then look back on how I was raised. Then I started to realize that shit played a part in how I relate to women. Because my mom, she wasn't touchy-feely, but she'll go to work, make sure we have food, took care of all the business, and she was like mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? Growing up with, yeah. So when you're raising a man and he grow up in that household, he's gonna grow up and he's gonna make it, but he's gonna be slightly imbalanced. So when he gets with a female, he don't even know how to offer her the other side, because mom had to be dad. Mom didn't have time to be, smooching and kissing and, give me a hug and all that, softness. Where dad is more, okay, I'm going to take you out and I'm going to show you how to do this. And, there's no balance. So now you have, and it's funny because the show I did, where we talked about interracial dating, for those who need to go back and watch that show, there was a brother on there who talked about being raised by a mom and how sensitive he became. He was very in touch with his emotions because this was his framework. So when it comes to just alpha male energy, he really lacked that. So it creates an imbalancement. And that's something that, where it says it takes a village to raise a child, a lot of men have to step in to kind of like fill those voids. I think our Coach Amabile, Coach Chambers, a lot of our coaches.
And it's alpha, like 99% alpha.
Yeah, so we looked up to them, and they filled those voids because it was just energy that we were very happy to have, playing football and all that jazz and being around dudes and all that stuff. So me and you definitely had the opportunity to be around some dudes who stepped in and was that example. You know what I'm saying? And that helped a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's why to this very day, when it comes down to Coach Chambers and Amabile, they have a special place. Especially Chambers, because Chambers was more interactive with us as young men when we were in junior high. He had intimate moments with us about just everyday life and engaging with us. So he's like the elder now. You know what I'm saying?
Coach Samuel was like a sergeant. like that cat from Full Metal Jacket. Wasn't
Yes,
no
he
sympathy
was. Nah, he didn't play. He didn't play. He was, man. He'll go ham on your parents. He didn't
there.
care.
Yeah.
He did
But
not care.
too, we also got to be aware of these all these shots that our kids get when they first enter the world. You know what I mean? We got to be aware of like what are they doing to these, well, why does a kid need a million shots? You know what I mean? Like all these vaccinations and all this you know what I mean? Like I think that plays a big part too with our hormones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
do.
think I think they alter like they play with our hormones, and I think there are selective kids too that they play with. I don't think they just use the same formulas for the same kids. I just don't believe that. I believe these formulas aren't even what they say they are. I just believe that so some kids are selected for this and some kids are selected for that. You
So you
know,
think it's some like research, basically?
not research, but I believe that those needles, I believe that those shots have something to do with this imbalance too.
Okay.
I believe, I believe those shots change you physically inside, and they mess with your hormones.
Right, right.
This is true. This is true. I would invite people who would listen to this show to do some research on just the eugenics project and get a better understanding of some of the things that they have set up that people participate in, but it doesn't always have your best interest. And you'll get a better understanding on our position on, why we catch hell first when it comes to our biology and how they treat us and what we're susceptible to. So definitely do some research in the eugenics project, and you would understand. Just Google it. You can Google any goddamn thing, but I'm just saying, like, look into those things to get a really good understanding of what the hell is going on when it comes to our biology, because everything is not for us, and a lot of the changes that we're seeing, they're not natural changes. Things are
Right.
being pushed around and jumbled around. Um, but
Right.
but the beauty of it is, the universe has its checks and balances. So you know
Well,
it'll get right how it's supposed to get right, and then we'll adjust. Our biggest issue right now is those who are in power, who have an agenda to push the herd in a particular direction against your will.
right.
That's the problem. Like I said, if we went to a new world where they did not exist, and you had a nation of, let's say, gay people, cool, fine. That's the gay nation. Let's go over here and see if they want to, buy some technology from the straight nation. It's a respect thing, you know.
Right.
That's and people live in peace. If the universe says this is the road we going down,
That's what I
cool,
respect.
cool,
Right.
cool. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta also think about this too. Like they could be, it could be another form of population control too,
Of
with
course.
the
I think so. Yeah.
with the hormones and stuff like that. They want to change our sex to the point where maybe they want to slow down the process. That's why I said a selective. There's a selective. I don't believe everybody's getting the same shots, even for this thing today. Whatever. I'm not even going to mention the name of it, but it's been heavily influenced. So I know there's an agenda behind it. You know what I mean? So, and I know there is some people are selected for different types. You know what I mean? So it'll probably affect. It'll probably be something different for these people, but something different for these people, or it could be just selective for just individuals, period. Like, okay, this person coming in for this shot, so give him formula whatever, and give this person, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's affected differently, like, so you really can't pinpoint what's going on.
We'll definitely discuss that in more detail on Brainwashed on Heavy, because I do have some new information regarding that. That's very, very interesting. I'm just going to say, all my melanated individuals, keep your vitamin D levels optimal. So all I gotta say, just keep your
Well,
vitamin D levels optimal.
too, there is some sources of vitamin D that's okay. I mean, there's nothing like, I guess, sun exposure, but
Oh, that's
I
that's the
know
best.
seafood is high in vitamin D. Tuna fish is very high in vitamin D. Tuna fish.
Yeah, if you're not gonna spend the type of time that you need out in the elements, then definitely supplement it or get it through your diet. The thing about vitamin D and why people of color are so deficient in it is because we have melanin. Melanin is like a natural sunscreen. So when we go out into the sun, we're blocking sun from damaging us, which means it slows down our vitamin D synthesis. Europeans can go in the sun and they can assimilate vitamin D much quicker because they don't have natural sunscreen. So our vitamin D levels are highly deficient because we just don't live in regions where it's hot a lot and sunny a lot, and we don't spend a lot of time outdoors as we should. So we need a minimum of 3 to 4 hours.
Okay, but all right, I got a question for that though. All right, so what you just said with the the skin exposure, okay, then maybe the vitamin D is not an issue with militant people. I don't, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's like a whole different process. You know what I mean? Like if
No, the
it's
vitamin
harder to get it from the sun, if your skin is darker, then maybe it's a different. Yeah, it's
no,
something that you don't really need in that process to get it.
it's
You know
not
what I'm
that it's not that it's harder for us to get it. We just don't spend a lot of time in the sun to assimilate it. The thing is,
saying?
I always say respect the elements because the elements will fuck you up. Period. Like if you don't respect water, you'll drown. If you don't respect the sun, you'll burn. So the
Right.
bottom line is when it comes to sunlight, we have a natural protection against harm from the
Right,
element of the sun. With
right.
that natural protection, it blocks the sunlight from harming us. Therefore, our vitamin D synthesis is slowed down unless you live in a region where it's tropical and you're outside a lot. Europeans don't have that natural protection. If they stay in the sun too long, they will burn. But they
Right.
will assimilate vitamin D very rapidly in like an hour or two. They good. We're not good because we are protected from sun exposure and the damage it can cause. So it's a gift and it's also a curse.
Okay.
But you got to take the fact that melanated people spent more time outdoors in the past than they do now. Everybody's indoors now.
On games and tablets and phones and
Yeah, but
Exactly.
you know what's so funny? It's funny because it's funny that because we got a beach here. I mean, you already know what it is. We got a beach here, and you won't find not one black soul on this motherfucker until 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Till the sun go down. Exactly.
We don't come out to the sun go down. Black man, white people own like if you go to the beach during the sunny times, it's all white people. You got to go there like towards night when the sun is not out, and that's just funny to me. You know what I mean? Like
we
it's
don't
just
like the sun.
it's just funny.
But
You would
but
think, go
now you
ahead.
see what I mean, right?
Yeah, but black people don't like being out in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be forced. Like I said, the universe has its checks and balances, and we're gonna get back to that. We ain't gonna have no choice but to
Sure,
get back
sure,
to that.
sure.
Checks and balances. But so let me ask you this, Gabby.
Yes.
You know the original comments made by Tank. Um, do you think that his statements allows certain brothers to kind of like what Pop was saying, if you have thoughts like that, to go ahead and act on it because of statements like, well, if you just want to try it out to see, that's okay. Do you have a problem with that actual way of looking at it?
Well, I feel like that's BS. I feel like if a interview made you want to go get some head one time, 2 times, 3 times, you want to get some head from another male. Period. I feel like I don't agree with the down low stuff. I feel like you should be upfront. I feel like you should, if you want to go get head, go get head. But I feel like you don't want that label of being called gay, bisexual, pansexual, whatever you want to be called. You don't want that label. Like we was discussing with one of our clients, and he was saying his friend he have, you know, experiences with another male, but he don't call it gay. He don't think it's gay. He think it's an experience. And I feel like if you do it one time, you will do it again, and you will do it again. Even
Hey,
if
you
it's
know what?
time passed by, you have the ability to do it again. So no, I don't.
Me as a man, me as a man, if a male, if my drawers went down and a male just stepped in the room, my dingling is string this small.
right.
So
So it's some
I
type of
just don't see,
attraction.
like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that can I just that's I guess you
It's
gotta
DNA.
say it's gotta be something there, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
It's
when a
definitely
man
something
enters
there.
the realm, when it comes down to like, it's like my shit like zoop.
Right.
Like I don't think so, you know.
And I feel like if it's one
But
time, I'm not competing
I
with
don't know
you.
about
Gotta.
that.
A lot of men are not faithful. So if you're in a relationship and you got to worry about him cheating on you with a woman, now you got to worry about him cheating on you with a man. I can't get with that. I just feel like if you be upfront and say, "Well, I'm bisexual. I'm curious. You know, I like to experience sexual acts with men." Then it's up to that woman to say, well, babe, I'm cool with it, or babe, I'm not. But I feel like we don't have, as women, we don't have that option to say yay or nay, you know? So I don't agree with that. Like,
Uh,
that's BS.
it's all it's all becoming recreational now. You know what I mean? Like I don't even think relationships are really gonna even be a thing anymore anyway. So
Right.
even marriage is definitely dead. I think people are
Yeah.
just gonna most likely, if you have kids together, you're gonna raise the kids and everything. Like
Right.
we actually we've been cultivating that anyway. How to raise kids not being in the same house together. So
From the
again,
get
it's
go.
like it's like we creating this world. We're creating this world. We can see how it started back, and where it is today. You can just see you can see that like men are in separate houses. They're not even with their kids or anything. So the separation
Right.
is becoming so bad where that's just going to be a contract
It's
deal just to
okay.
have
It's the
kids with
norm.
somebody and go on your way. Just go on
Right.
your way and just live a recreational life. Like in my opinion, I that's how, I mean, not no gay stuff or anything, but I kind of like to be by myself. I mean, I like to have a good time, have a friend, whatever. But living under with somebody and all that stuff, I don't agree. I mean,
But I
I'm
feel
happier
like
by myself.
women respect that. If you talking to a woman, you like, well, I like to be by myself. I feel like you giving her that
Right.
option to know, like, I want to deal with him, and I don't want to deal with him. I feel like
Right.
nowadays men have families, they have wives, and then they go over here and, like Tank said, and go get head once or twice because it's an experience, it's a vibe. No, I don't. I feel like this BS. Like this BS. I can't. Like no, I would go crazy. Like it's like no.
And well, females too are doing stuff like that too. I mean, females. I mean, it's a lot of females that mess with females, and they mess with men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
I feel
it's
like,
like,
my opinion, I feel like women can't be gay. That's just my opinion because I feel like you can go sleep with a woman and then you can go be with a male and have kids. Men, once you
right.
stick that in a hole or you doing oral,
It just
that's
don't work right,
over. Like
right?
even just to this close, it's over. Like it's over for me. I can't. You can't
Yeah,
come back from me.
masculinity just doesn't fit in a soft world.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't.
definitely, yeah, that's a part of the agenda. I got a comment. Tiffany, beautiful me. She said you have more women who are okay with it because it has become slim pickings due to the crossovers. What do y'all think about that? Now, let me say this. Let me say this about black women. This is my gripe I have with the sisters when it comes to the brothers. You got some sisters who have a stance to say, "Hey, I don't fool with the whole gay thing when it comes to brothers. If you gay, cool, fine, stay over there.
Right.
I like a man. That's it."
Right.
But you got some sisters who want to create a gray area where it's fashionable to have the gay dude around, have the gay dude hang out with the rest of the girls. They cool to have around because they funny. It's almost like I want to utilize the gay energy because it's so fashionable now. But then I don't want my man to be gay, but I want a gay man around. It's like that's confusing to me. If you hard nosed about black men being straight and your black boys growing up being straight, if you're that person, then I don't see those type of women hanging out with the gay dude, because it's like on one hand you're saying it's okay and I'm cool with them and they're fun to be around and they're the life of the party and they're trying to be a woman harder than me, but at the same time you don't want you feel some type of way that your man want to go to that. What you guys say about that?
I got something to say about that. So I have gay friends, males and females. I respect it because you're upfront with it. You're living your truth. Like, you're not hiding, you're not pretending. What's for you is for you. But for me, I want an alpha man. I need a straight man. That's what I want. So I'm not going to, discriminate what you like. I'm not going to judge you for what you like. I'm going to treat you like any normal straight friend. Like, I'm like my straight friend. I don't see nothing different. But I want an alpha male. I feel like your lifestyle and my lifestyle has nothing to do with it. But we can go to dinner and eat, and we can talk on the phone, and we can't, conversate or whatever. But I feel like women go for men, like bisexual men, because of comfort. I feel like it's a comfort thing. It's a thing of, I want to have a man. It's a thing of the social media, like, I'm going to take a picture with him. I have somebody. I don't look lonely, because now social media is just an image. It's not real life. I can dress up and look like I got money. So you can take a picture with a dude, even though he's gay or on the down low, and everybody the lights gonna go up because she has a partner. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like it's for comfort. I don't think you can't have a gay friend and require having, you want a straight man. I think that your lifestyle should be separate. That's just my opinion.
So what about when you have, let's say you got young boys, you're raising young boys, and you got a gay male friend that you hang out with? Like, how do you separate the two? How do you do that?
You teach your kids, just like your kids watch cartoon with gay people on it all day. The cartoon two boys kissing on cartoon. You teach them this is the way we gonna live, and you can still watch a TV show, but let me give you that knowledge. And if you get grown and you want to be gay or you want to be straight, you have, like you said before, you have that choice. But I feel like as a parent, you have to put that in your child. You got to teach that. You got to instill that. So it's still your job, whether you have a gay friend around or not.
So let's say you teach your boys this, right? They're at a young age. They're very influential. You teach them this. You give them this framework, right? Right. And that same mom has a gay friend, man, that she hangs out with, and he's around the boys. Like, how do you teach your boys that that's not the way, but you have a friend that is totally contradicting what mom is teaching me? How do you deal with that?
I just feel like you can't. Well, I have been taught to not judge, but my mom taught me you're gonna have like you said, the framework. You're gonna have a husband. You're gonna have kids. She didn't tell me that I was gonna have a wife and we're gonna adopt kids or whatever the case may be. But I feel like it goes back to, you don't have to judge anybody, but this is what we're gonna do. And I feel like it probably don't work for everybody else, but I feel like you can have that in the household. But let me teach my kids that my framework for you is to have a wife and kids, and this is how I want this your life to be out, to pan out or whatever. That's just how I look at it.
So what if your son?
I know what you're getting.
So what if your son says, "Ma, you taught me this is wrong. This ain't right." But Bobby Johnson, Uncle Bobby, or whoever is like that. Explain that to me, Ma. Explain that to me, Ma, because this shit ain't adding up. That's a tough one. Because there are people who, and that's what I'm saying. When you have a hard-nosed position, it's kind of hard. Well, it's not hard. When you have a hard-nosed position, some people want to still partake in the forbidden fruit, But at the same
Exactly.
time, but at the same time, they want to make sure they send the message that this is not right. Like you can't serve two masters. Here's my take on my gay clients, which I've been cutting these cats' heads for a minute, and they cool. They real cool. Here's my position on how my philosophy towards them, and they know this. You're gay. I do not support your lifestyle. I support you as a human being. So no one's gonna come in here and talk shit about you, not in front of me, because
Right.
as a person, and that's what you are. You are a human being. That's how I see you. Your lifestyle has nothing to do with me. I'm not
Right.
going to come to your parades. I'm not going to wear your pins. I'm not going to support none of that shit because I don't agree with it. But you as a person, I have to protect that because as human beings, that's what I see first. That gay shit is secondary to me. I see a human being. They're not aliens and none of that shit. Supposed to be. So the bottom line is, you're not going to infringe on my friends because of their lifestyle choice. You're not going to disrespect them in front of me. You're not going to talk shit to them in front of me just because that's what they partake in. I don't agree with it. I don't even support that shit. They know it. But I see them as human beings first. And that's something we need to adopt. Like, okay, I see you as a person. I don't see you as the gay person. Like, that's a fucking mask you wear. A gay, you know.
I always like, if I don't care as long as you're not, disrupting my whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, you could, like you said, you could be whatever you want to be as long as it's not affecting my castle. You know what I mean? As long as you ain't fucking up my castle, then there's a problem.
And typically, especially ones that I know, they don't disrupt anything. They don't infringe on shit. They have your back. They have your back. They make sure you straight, and I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? Better than some of the knuckle draggers that I have to deal with. But the bottom line is, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, I deal with humans as a human family.
Right.
All the other stuff is secondary. We could get into the secondary shit depending on how it infringes on me. Now, if you come over in my bubble with the secondary shit, now I got to put that in its proper perspective. Other than that, you don't bring that my way. We just two human beings having human life.
Right.
That's it. That's my take on the whole gay phenomenon. My problem is with the system pushing the shit and trying to normalize my thinking to make it seem like that shit's normal. It's not fucking normal on any level. It's just not. But I accept it because obviously universe got some other shit going on, and I'm submitting because we're moving in a whole bunch of different directions right now, and when it all comes out, you know.
But you know what's so crazy? When you think they're doing something, from time to time, like, the stuff that we seeing right now, sometimes you be like, are they really doing this? And it's like the older you get, they really doing it. Like, it's like sometimes you think society will make you think that you're over exaggerating or think you crazy. Where sometimes you think about it, but then you're like, damn, they really doing it though. Like, it's like the older you get, you start saying that these niggas really doing this shit straight up. People don't even get it. Like, people don't even. It's crazy, but they really doing. It's like sometimes you be like, all the stuff that we've been saying this stuff for a long time again, but when you really start seeing it come to fruition, you're like, wow, they really doing this shit. Like, this shit ain't even me or him or her. Like, we really doing it, man. Like, they really don't care. And then it's so bad today that they don't even do it sneaky anymore. They just straight up with everything now, because they figured out that people are not going to fight. They realize that all we do is talk. All they do, you got people that talk, no action. So they're gonna press all the genders on it.
But the question now is, who's gonna fight? They got everybody either partying high
Yeah.
or just you know.
Yeah.
But you know,
That's what. Yeah, you gotta look out for yourself these days to a certain degree because ain't really nobody gonna help you. Ain't nobody on your side, but there's a lot of conscious people out there that that's where I'm those people I'm dealing with. But at the same time,
You gotta stay in your bubble.
yeah, man, because even trust, man, trust is like done. Everything that
That's
honor, trust, respect, that
over.
really is gone, man. And
Right.
and as long as that's gone, that'll keep us separated too. But sometimes you have no choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have no choice when it comes down to trusting people and having respect for this party or that
Right.
party and stuff like that. Because you'll be alone in it and you'll probably die by it if you do fall into the web of it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
so it's like you just gotta stand and protect what's yours. Really, your foundation is your foundation. Really, we shouldn't even be concerned about the outside world because we can't control that. People
Right.
are,
that's
like
that,
you were saying, Ray.
yeah. That's
Go ahead, brother. Go
that's
ahead.
the bubble. That's definitely the. Imagine this: we're heading towards something that is going to be a little bit rough. Well, it's going to be a lot rough. Your bubble is like, let's just say it's your a vehicle that you're going to be traveling in. That vehicle needs to be fortified with a lot of protection because where you're traveling is going to be real bumpy and rough to the point where if the ride is able to break apart your bubble, it can potentially kill you and everybody else inside that bubble. So you got to fortify your bubble right now.
That's
as
why
we
you got
head,
the foundation. Right.
yeah, as we head towards this shit, we're gonna need to be inside those bubbles, and those bubbles are gonna need to be fortified. Now, if we come out on the other side of this thing, when we do, we're gonna have the responsibility of putting this shit back together, and our kids are gonna have the responsibility of a whole new scenario. The thing is, the responsibility needs to be put back on the people on how they want to live versus somebody telling them how they should live.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. And you know what's gonna do it? I already know what's gonna happen. Technology is gonna be the key to us getting back to natural order. And this is why I believe it's gonna. I mean, this is my opinion. It always fails. That's why we need it so bad because once everything is dependent on it,
It is.
it's gonna fail. And when it fails, all doors are open. It's gonna be a process of rough. You know what we've been talking. It's gonna be a rough process. We ain't gonna have no choice because technology can be erased just like that, and people are so connected to it and hooked up. Once it's gone, they lost. But at the same
Right.
time, the natural way will put us back in order. You know what I mean? We'll find the natural way back. So technology will rule for I don't know how long, but it will fail because it's known to fail in cars. It's known to fail whatever it's in. There's been failures and breakdowns. So
Right.
its destiny is it can't sustain. Technology doesn't sustain. It always has a blackout. So it's
If you
always
look at the show Sweet Tooth, it wasn't that long. If you look at from he was what
quick.
he was like 10. He was 10 when he left the forest. He was like 10.
Right.
Yeah.
In a 10-year span, if you look at society, the cars, the buildings, the zoos and all the animals were free. If you look at that time span at which everything went to shit and it got back to a level where people were really fending for themselves and those different nations and tribes were kind of like clumping together, there
Right.
wasn't it didn't take a long time for that shit.
Yeah,
So so roughly 10 years, shit went back to a natural order because I was wondering why they not driving cars and why they not using technology and why they not doing this. Something was so devastating that it crippled everything.
Right.
It crippled everything.
Crippled the system. You know, whatever happened, when the system, you get detached when something don't work no more. What you do, you throw it away. You know what I mean? And like I
Go back
said,
to
it
normal.
can't sustain itself, and that's where I think they're having problems with right now. I think really they're just trying to find a way to sustain this new order, and it's a long process to try to make it as close to bulletproof as they can. But at the same time,
That's
it's
true.
it will fall. It has no choice because technology just fails. A storm could bring down technology, a natural
Yeah,
storm. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like once we
And we
all
already be
running
going
on that,
crazy when the
you
signal
know.
go out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if we all running 100% on tech signals, it's over. Pretty soon, all you gotta do is hit that main signal, whatever, and it's over. That main power source. Bye. Whoever take over that gonna rule the
But
world.
but that's what you would call a great reset, a great natural reset.
Yeah.
And even in a great natural reset, you still gonna have people who are gay. You're gonna have people who are heterosexual. You're gonna have people with all these different titles. The thing is, they'll be living in their own clan without infringing on somebody else's clan,
All right.
and it'll be a level of respect. And I can
Right.
I can I can get with that. It is what it is. It is
I
what it
can
is.
understand. I can understand you saying that, but honestly, I kind of see a different window with that. I think it's gonna be some lynching, man. We got crazy people out here, bro. People eliminate certain people they don't like or certain types. I can see that too.
But that will
Doing
be that scenario. Those types of scenarios will be on the other side of a change. Those type of scenarios will be leading up to the grand
right.
finale.
True. But
On
I
the
just feel
other side, it will be all that shit will be done and over with. On the other side, however it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna be. Another show you should check out is The Handmaid's Tale. Very good show,
It's on
and
Netflix.
it's on Netflix. And something happened. I don't know what happened, but they could not have children anymore. Europeans couldn't have their birth rate just went zip. They couldn't have kids anymore, and the country just broke up into different regions. And
they
you
keep
really
showing.
should exactly. They're trying to tell you something.
They
They're
keep
trying to tell
showing
you something.
Netflix. Netflix be showing us a lot of signs, man. If you watch them,
It
all them shows, man.
does. It
Netflix be.
does.
Oh my god.
It does.
So I think right now, going back to the original topic that we opened up with, and these gonna be my closing remarks in a nutshell. I'm all for the natural order of things. I love women, sisters, and the natural order is a man was created for a woman and a woman was created for a man. Anything outside of that is a deviation from the natural order of things. I'm not here to judge if that's right or wrong. The universe has already laid the framework out to say if it's right or wrong. I don't got to tell somebody else that shit is right or wrong. The bottom line is it's already been laid out in the natural order to say what is supposed to be. Anything that is outside of that, nature has a way of its checks and balances. So I respect people's lifestyles. I want people to be happy. I want people to be very comfortable in their skin. I don't think we should, torment people for their lifestyle choices and stuff like that. Um, because I honestly believe that the universe does its own uh, judge and jury. I'm out of that. That's not my thing.
All right.
You are part of it, though. I'm not gonna lie, though. You are part of the universe. Every mind is a
Yeah,
part of the universe. So
yeah.
you are playing your part, no matter how you see it. You are a judge. You are a judge, but judgment doesn't mean that it's gonna go your way or anything. But still, because how you feel still makes you a judge. You're not imposing your judgment, but you do have a judgment. It's like we all have
Yes.
a judgment.
My
So it's like.
judgment is the natural order of things. That's my judgment.
Right, exactly. But the natural order you know, yeah, true. All right, yeah, makes sense.
That's my position. That's my judgment.
Yeah,
What the consequences should be from deviating from that, that's not my call. I'll let nature handle that. Like I said before, if you do not eat what you're supposed to eat, you develop disease. That is
exactly.
a result of you utilizing your free will to do what you
Right,
want to do. I'm not here
right.
to judge you for that. But as a result, nature said, hey, you put enough sugar in your body, these are the diseases that you're going to get.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
gotta
say that
eat.
shit. That's just the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
it
yeah. Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, I'm saying, but it's just showing you that you feeding the wrong motherfuckers when you put shit like that in your body,
Yeah.
and you breaking
So
down the other motherfuckers. Like
natural
yeah,
order. You're supposed to drink adequate amounts of water. You're supposed to have essential fatty acids. So the bottom line is when you do things along the lines of how it's supposed to be, you have a lot more success and a
and
lot
you
more
live a lot
stability.
longer. You
True.
live longer. You're happier, and honestly, especially if you, I mean, if you experience the two different worlds of a bad diet and a to me a God diet. I always call it a God diet because it's a natural diet, but you know what I mean. But your state of mind really does reflect off your food. You know what I mean? Whatever that food, whatever in those foods, they mess with your hormones completely, man.
Yeah, what you put
Them
in your
Of
body.
foods,
course.
yeah, I mean,
Soy.
them foods create diseases. They invite everything, and I believe that everything works together. I believe whatever's again. I always bring this up. Whatever's in those needles might be sensitive to certain foods and stuff like that too. So I think everything works like even it's like stuff that they're injecting in our bodies are will react to certain temperatures, react to certain foods, and this is how we come up with all these dysfunctions, these issues, and all that stuff. I really believe it all starts with those shots when you first born, and then they still trying to give
That's
you
the
shots.
that's the
So
beginning. That will be the beginning. Um,
that's the first thing to stop, right? Is the shots.
that's the beginning. Once you're born, you're gonna
Yeah.
get a series of shots. So that's the beginning
50
of
something,
the battle. I
what is
forget
60
how
something,
many,
70 something shots?
but I don't
It
know.
came from
Nah,
3 shots, I think, for like
nah.
damn is it was 3 shots with us, I think. And now it's like 50 something. Yeah, one thing I
About
do
50.
know.
You talking about in a lifetime, not in a day, nigga.
No, no,
You
I'm
say
saying like
60
no,
something
no, no, no. I'm
shots.
talking about the process from a no. I'm talking about from a process of a child getting up to 5 years old or whatever, a certain amount. They take so many shots. Now,
Oh,
from my
I don't know.
experience with my daughter, she took she took a couple of shots and she was always sick, real sick, right? And once we stopped, we never let her get the flu shot. Once we stopped letting her get those shots as a baby, she never had an issue again. You know what I mean? She didn't have all those issues was gone, all those sicknesses and all that stuff. It was gone. So
Yeah,
she's healthy
that's
as hell.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that because I got some little ones that's straight from Zion too. You know how they were on the Matrix. Because you remember
Right.
when it was on Nebuchadnezzar and he was like, your holes at for your tubes, and he was like, nah, I don't have those. I was born in Zion, natural.
Yeah.
I have some kids who were born in Zion, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. It was a good discussion. In a nutshell, people do you. The bottom line is we're not here to judge anybody's lifestyle. Whatever makes you happy, it is what it is. That's a personal thing. Far as Tank's comments, me personally, I think if you choose to do that once, in my opinion, that's gay. That's for the record.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
100% gay.
yeah. I'm not gonna go get some head from a dude twice to figure out if I'm gay or not, or if I like the shit. That's goofy.
It's not even a choice either, man. To figure it out, you shouldn't even have to figure that out. That shouldn't even be something that you gotta explore to find out, bro. That's just gay, and you trying to make excuses about doing gay shit, saying that you're not gay. You still trying to be masculine at the same time and say you're not gay. That's all that is.
Yeah, so it is what it is. That's not a part of my programming. I respect everybody who, that's what they do. That's what they do. Like I said, I see people for human beings. Your lifestyle is your lifestyle. And I pretty much judge you on that. The only time I come out biting is when you're infringing on my lifestyle, trying to make it seem like something's not right with my shit because I'm not down with your shit. That's a problem. But other than that, everybody be merry and do what they do. So until we meet again, this concludes another show. POD, Put Out Direct Talk Show. We gets it in. I don't know what happened to my other co-host, Gabby. I'll get with her. And as usual, my man Pot is always holding it down. And on that note, we going to call it a day. Hope everybody is safe. Please tune in to Brainwashed on Heavy next Saturday because we're going to get more in depth into the hokey pokey and some of the things that's going on. And we're going to talk about Dr. Faulty and all the stuff that's coming out about his emails, this, that, and the third. Kind of educate y'all black folk on some things that y'all probably don't know or don't care to know, but we're going to put it out here. At least you have we'll have a digital footprint where you can go back and you can listen to this shit once your light bulb comes on. So, but on that note, we're going to tell everybody peace and have a nice one. You know what I'm saying? Before we go, I want to give a shout out to everybody that was in the chat. A couple of cats said what's up. A couple of cats said what's up to you, Pot. Of course, me. And somebody said Dre, you live from Cairo. I guess they was digging my whole Egyptian thing I got going on. Yeah, man, I like getting down with the royal aspect of our kinfolk back in the day. But yeah, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Glad y'all came through, supported, left your comments and all that type of stuff. And we love the support. Go over to YouTube, find our channel, and please subscribe, hit the like button, and share the videos. And then on that note, we are officially going to say peace, and we out.